Hey third graders, so I'm outside in the grass to introduce you to your new chapter book that you're going to be reading this week and this month. You guys are really going to like the new chapter book that I've picked for you guys. So far this year we've read the book Toy Story and Charlotte's Web and The Homework Machine and some mystery books, and now we're going to be reading something completely new, a brand new chapter book that your parents have picked up for you. And if you don't have a copy, you can go to a bookstore, or you can probably get it on Amazon, or you can actually probably go on a website and actually get a digital copy. There's a website called Reading IQ, or there's probably some other websites where they have a copy of the book. But you guys are gonna love the reading that you're gonna be doing at home, and I'm excited to read along with you from school and to have discussions about the book that we're gonna be reading. And the book that we're going to be reading is called The Enormous Egg. If you look on the front cover of the book, it kind of gives you a little bit of a hint of what this book is about. It kind of gives you a hint about what might be inside of this enormous egg. So the reason why I'm outside today to introduce you to The Enormous Egg is because this book takes place on a farm. So very similar to Charlotte's Web, we could probably actually compare and contrast. After we get done reading this book, we can tell how Charlotte's Web and The Enormous Egg are alike and how they're different. But one of the ways they're both alike is because they both take place on a farm. And since you guys love Charlotte's Web so much, I just knew that you would love The Enormous Egg. So I actually read The Enormous Egg many years ago when I taught in public school, and I also read it again at FCA with another class several years ago, and everybody loves this book because it's so much fun. First of all, it's a fiction book. Do you guys remember what fiction means? It means that a book is fake. It is not true. There's not really an enormous egg that a chicken has laid. I don't think it's possible. Your chicken can lay a big egg, but not as enormous as the egg in this book. And so you guys, this book is about a character. The character's name is Nate Twitchell. So it's a little bit different than Charlotte's Web, because Charlotte's Web focused more on Fern, the girl in the story. And this book focuses more on the boy in the story. His name is Nate. And he lives on a farm with his family, and they take care of chickens and goats and farm animals. I don't know if you've ever been to a farm. Maybe you've been to Green Meadows when you were younger. I love being on a farm. It's peaceful, it's quiet, just like being out here outside. It's a nice day, it's beautiful outside. It would be so fun to live on a farm and just explore a barn and run around and do fun things and climb trees and take care of animals. And that's what Nate did growing up, until one day something mysterious happens. His chicken lays an egg that is ginormous, way bigger than a normal egg. It is called the enormous egg for a reason, because it was so big. And so his family kind of doesn't know what to do with this egg. Should we keep the egg? Should we cook the egg? Should we eat the egg? What should we do with the egg? And Nate, of course, just like Fern in Charlotte's Web, how she really wanted to keep the little pig, he begs his dad, can we please keep the egg? And so they do. And so they end up keeping the egg, and this book is all about what happens with this enormous egg and how he has to take care of the egg. Now, on top of just taking care of the egg, he also has a normal job, and he has school, and he has chores. I will say that the book takes place in June, so his schoolwork is not a priority in this part of the book, right? But he's taking care of this egg and still doing all of his chores. And then they were anticipating, what if this egg hatches? And again, you can see from the cover of this book that it kind of gives you a clue as to what might be inside this egg. What do you think this looks like, right? So I'm going to read the back cover of the book to you guys today and ask you to be thinking about some questions as you read The Enormous Egg at home, okay? And now I gotta sneeze. Because you guys know two things. One, I'm outdoors, and I always sneeze in our class every single day. And here I am outside sneezing again. Okay, so here's what it says in the back of the book. It says, young Nate Twitchell is surprised when one of the hens on his family's farm lays a giant egg. After a painstaking wait, Nate is even more surprised when it hatches and out pops a baby. I'm not even going to say what's inside of it. And he names the thing that's inside of it Uncle Beasley. It's an interesting name, right? But when Nate decides to keep it and raises it on its own, he has no idea what he's getting himself into, because Uncle Beasley grows and his family realizes that they're not equipped to take care of such a full-size. I'm going to tell you what's in it. And so, with the help of their scientist friends, Nate and Uncle Beasley set off for the National Museum in Washington, D.C. Now, have any of you ever been to the National Museum in Washington, D.C.? Because I have, and it's pretty impressive. And they go on the perfect hunt for this. I'm not going to tell you what's inside the egg. You're going to have to read the book all on your own. So what I'm asking you guys to do every day at home and with your family is to read 2 chapters a day. There are 17 chapters in this book. Let me make sure 17 chapters in this book, so it's not a hard book to read. It's on your reading level, so it should be a fun book to read with your whole family. If you read about 2 chapters a day, it'll take you about 8 days to read it, and then we'll do a project with it and discuss it. But you guys are gonna love The Enormous Egg, just 2 chapters a day. Okay, on top of reading the book, there are some things that I want you to be thinking about. Number 1, what would you do if you were Nate and in your house one day, you went outside and in your backyard was this enormous egg? What would you do with that egg? Would you ask your parents to keep it? Would your parents let you keep an enormous egg and take care of whatever was inside of it? Would you call the police? Would you call a scientist to come check it out before you let what was ever inside of it? Because you guys, what if there was actually a giant alligator inside of that egg and you kept it, and at night when you were sleeping, the alligator came out? That wouldn't be good, right? So what would you do if an enormous egg showed up in your backyard? And also, you guys, what would you do if you lived on a farm? How fun would it be to live on a farm? What kind of things would it be different than just living in the suburbs? What would it be like living in a rural area and having farm life? And so, can you relate to Nate as you're reading this book? Have you ever asked your parents to keep something that maybe they didn't want to keep, and you begged and begged and begged, and they let you keep it like a pet or a dog? But in this story, it's an enormous egg, and there's something inside of it. Okay, so there's a couple of activities I want you guys to do. This is in your packet that you'll see online, but one of them looks like this, okay? And it is a character map, okay? And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna put Nate in the middle here, and you're gonna write 4 things that Nate does in the story and draw a picture and write a sentence all about Nate, okay? And then, does this character seem real, yes or no? Then there's another character map in here because I want you to pick another character in the book, maybe the dad, maybe the thing that's inside the egg. I'm not gonna tell you. Again, same thing, put that character, draw a picture of them in the middle, and then draw 4 pictures about the character, and then write sentences of what the character did in the book. Another activity you guys are going to do is you're going to do a picture walk where you're going to write what happened in the beginning of the book, draw what happened at the beginning of what you read, what happened in the middle of what you read, and what happened at the end of what you read. And that's after you read a few chapters, because remember, you're reading 2 chapters a day. Okay, another activity that you guys have seen before is a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is when you take 2 characters, you put one character over here, one character over here. You write how they're alike. In the middle is how they're alike, and how they're different on the ends. All right? So have fun reading Enormous Egg. I can't wait to talk with you guys about the book. If you read 2 chapters a day, that means on Monday you read chapters 1 and 2. On Tuesday, chapters 3 and 4. On Wednesdays, chapter 5 and 6. And on Thursday, chapters 7 and 8. Don't worry about doing any reading on Friday. So after the first week, you'll pretty much be halfway through the book. After you read each day, you're going to do an activity to go along with what you read, and then turn all these activities back into me. You guys are going to enjoy learning all about what happens in farm life on The Enormous Egg. Have fun reading, everybody. I can't wait to talk to you guys.